the only Sonic Funko Pop that I have in my Funko Pop collection. And there is a ton more just like that one, a part of the Sonic Funko Pop line. So in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every single Sonic Funko Pop ever made. And boom, just like that, I've switched up the location. But yeah, I'm at my computer right now. I've got the list of every single Sonic Funko Pop pulled up right here, and we're gonna be ranking them from S all the way to bad. All right, and we're starting off with a pretty good one right here. First off, we have the classic Sonic. This one is definitely going in A tier. Just look at this pop. It's super cool, super nice, very cool pop. It's nothing too crazy, but it's also not super bland. There's detail on the pop. It looks awesome. He looks like he's in a running motion, and there's kind of like an effect around him that looks great. I'm all here for that. I think it's a really cool Funko Pop. Then we have the Funko Shop exclusive classic Sonic, and this one I would probably have to put in C tier, and I'm only gonna do that because it's the exact same mold as the common. Why can't they just release this one as the normal one? The only difference between the two is flocked, and that's it. That's the only difference. Like, I think the normal one should have just been flocked, and there shouldn't have been two versions of the same pop. But hey, it is still a really cool pop. That's why it's not in bad or D tier. You're actually gonna notice that for a lot of the pops in today's video is that like most of them are just the normal mold that the common has, but just turned flocked or glow in the dark or metallic, something like that, which I'm not a big fan of that. I think it's kind of lazy and I don't understand it too much. But this one, like I said, I'll put it in C just because of how cool the pop actually is. Next up we have Silver. I like Silver a lot. I think the mold is nothing too crazy. It's a basic pop. It gets the job done though. So for that, I'll put Silver in B tier. I think it's a cool pop nonetheless. It's just a very basic mold, nothing crazy with it. And like I mentioned earlier, we got one of those cheeky variants that is literally just the same thing as the common but glow in the dark. And for that, I'm probably gonna have to put it in D. Why couldn't you just release this pop as the common one? Why does it have to have its own exclusive? It's kind of weird. I don't like it. And the glow kind of looks weird on that pop, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a cool character. I like Silver a lot, so that's why he's in D and not bad. Then we've got Sonic with Ring, the one that I have in my Funko Pop collection, and this one I'm probably gonna have to put in B tier just because it's nothing too crazy. It's not like a super crazy mold or anything like that. The design of the character is very basic. It's just Sonic with a ring in his hand. It is a cool pop though. It gets the point across. It's Sonic. It's basic. I like it for that reason. Next up we have Werehog, and this one is super cool. I like this one a lot. This one's gonna go in A tier for sure just because of how cool the character is, how cool the pop is. I like it a lot. It's not too simple, but it's not too overdone as well. It's a pretty equal balance of just awesomeness into a Funko Pop. Awesomeness, is that even a word? I doubt it, but for the sake of Werehog, it is. If I'm squinting a lot, by the way, it's because I have a light right above my head, and it's just killing me. It's killing me right now. Next up, we have the original Tails, and this one I'm gonna have to put into D tier. The original Sonic, the original Knuckles, and the original Tails, they all just suck. The molds are boring. There's nothing too crazy with them. They kind of look scary, I'm not gonna lie. But I definitely do think Tails is the best out of all three of the original Sonic Funko Pops, so that's why he's going in D tier and not in bad. Then we have the first Super Sonic Funko Pop. I like this one a lot, but it's not anything crazy. There is better Supersonic Funko Pops. I'm gonna have to put this one in C tier. I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure the mold for this is literally the same thing as a Sonic with Ring. If not, it looks really similar. Then we have Metal Sonic, and I think this is the first pop that I'm gonna have to put into S tier. This is one of those pops I didn't expect Funko to create, but since they did, I am very happy with it. I think that's such a cool Funko Pop. They gave him a stand so that way it looks like he's in the air. The pose he's in looks great. The detail on it is awesome. The eyes look great on it. Overall, it's a really cool figure. I like it a lot. Then we've got the flocked Tails and the normal Tails. The normal one I'm gonna have to put in A tier, and the flocked one I'm gonna put in B tier. I really like this pop a lot, but the issue is, once again, like I said earlier on in the video for classic Sonic, why couldn't they just release one pop of this guy that's flocked? I guess it is a cool incentive to have a flocked chase, but I don't know. I just wish they released the common version as the flocked one. That would make more sense to me. But nonetheless, it is a really cool Funko Pop. I like it a lot. That's why it's in A tier. The common for it looks great. Just like the Metal Sonic, he has a stand so that way it looks like he's floating in the air. It looks awesome. The detail on it is crazy cool. But yeah, definitely A and B tier for these two. There are some cool Funko Pops. I like them a lot. Then we've got Metallic Sonic with Ring, and I'm gonna have to put this one in D tier just because it's the exact same thing as the normal Sonic Funko Pop that you can get. It's just metallic instead. Same mold, same everything. It's just metallic and exclusive to somewhere. And personally for me, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like the way metallic looks in that Funko Pop too much. If I had the option between the two, I'd rather just get the normal one. The normal one looks cooler in my opinion. I don't really like the metallic finish on it. Then we've got a 2-pack of Shadow and Super Shadow, and this one's definitely going in A tier. I like this one a lot. This one was a GameStop exclusive and it does glow in the dark, and I just love that so much. Like when they make one version of a Funko Pop and make that glow in the dark, it makes sense. See, if they release this as like a normal 2-pack and then release the GameStop after as a glow in the dark 2-pack, I wouldn't like that much. But I definitely do like that they only released one 2-pack for this pop and they made it glow in the dark. I think that's awesome. And the pops look sick. They're both flying in the air. It looks great. The stands are awesome additions to most of the Sonic Funko Pops. I just like these two a lot. I think they're great. Then we've got the Sonic game cover, and this is definitely going in S tier. Such an awesome piece. It's nothing too crazy, but it's also not overdone, and it also looks really cool. It's just extremely well done. And this Eggman in his ship also has to go in S tier. Such a cool Funko Pop. It's a Pop Ride, which I believe is the first Sonic Funko Pop that is a Pop Ride in the line. So much detail in the figure. Eggman looks great in his ship there. Everything about it looks awesome. I love that pop so much. I think Funko needs to make more pops just like that one. Then we've got Super Sonic first appearance. I like this one a lot. Definitely gonna go in A tier. Very cool Funko Pop. I like that one a lot. I think all the Super Pops for the Sonic line look great. Super Shadow, Sonic, Silver, Tails, whatever it is, all of them look great. So for the most part, a lot of those are gonna go in A tier. I like them a lot. Then we've got Shadow, and Shadow of course has to go in A tier. It's Shadow. Gotta love Shadow, and that pop looks cool. There's nothing too crazy with it, but yet again, it's not overdone with any crazy details or anything. It looks good. I like it. It's simple. It gets the job done. It's Shadow also. You can't complain. It's Shadow. It's just so cool. Then we got the original Sonic, and this is the first Funko Pop I'm gonna have to put into bad. This Funko Pop just doesn't look good. This is from around the time that Funko was first creating video game Funko Pops, so I'll give them the benefit of doubt and admit that they didn't have too much experience in creating Funko Pops at the time when making this, but that doesn't hide the fact that this pop is horrifying and doesn't look good at all. Like, this thing is actually very scary. This thing is so scary. Then we've got Super Silver and Super Tails, and like I said, this is gonna have to go into A tier. I love this 2-pack so much. It looks great. Tails and Silver, two awesome characters. Super versions for them look awesome as well. The pops look great. The original Knuckles also gonna go into bad. I think I've also had nightmares about this one as well. This thing is so bad. Like Scooby-Doo so bad. This thing is so bad. Like, what is this thing? Then we've got Sonic with Emerald. Nothing crazy with this pop. I'm gonna put it in C tier just because I'm pretty sure it's like the exact same thing as the Sonic with Ring. Actually, I'll just move it up to B tier alongside the Sonic with Ring. It's the exact same pop pretty much. Then we have Sonic with Ring Scatter. I like this one a lot. The first moment or like deluxe Funko Pop for the Sonic Funko Pop line, and I think it's a great addition into the Funko Pop line for Sonic. The pose Sonic is in, all the rings in the background, everything adds up into this pop and makes it a great figure. I like this one a lot, and it's definitely one that I actually might maybe have to get for my collection one day. We have just basic Eggman. I like this one a lot, but it's nothing too crazy. I'm gonna put it into B tier. But you know what? Actually, I'll put him in A tier just because of how cool his mustache is. Then we've got Knuckles and Rouge. I like this 2-pack a lot. I'm gonna put it in B tier though, just because I wish they would release these two pops as normal pops before they release them as 2-pack. Knuckles does have a few Funko Pops. Like, he has, I think, 2 or 3. I think 3 actually. I don't even want to count the original one they made for him because that is disgusting and it does no justice to Knuckles. So besides that one, there's only 2 Knuckles Funko Pops, being this one and the other one, which I'll show off later on in the video. I think Knuckles deserves more Funko Pops, and we don't even have a Funko Pop for Rouge yet outside of this 2-pack. So it would be cool to get them as their own individual Funko Pops before a 2-pack, but regardless, this is a really cool 2-pack. I like this a lot. I just noticed now as well, I have the normal glam shot for Super Sonic on here. This is the exact same one as the one in C tier. So I'm just gonna put that next to the other one in C tier. And looking at the glam shot now, it's just confirming my fact from earlier. Yeah, it's the exact same mold as the normal Sonic with Ring. Just yellow instead. That is crazy, wow. Next up we have Amy, and this one I'm gonna have to put into B tier as well. It's a really cool Funko Pop. I like it a lot. It's a cool pop. She's got the big hammer in her hand. I believe a mallet. I think that's what it is. There's not too much detail in it, but it does look like Amy, and I think it's a cool pop. This is what I like. Like I said, for Knuckles and Rouge, they didn't make 2 separate pops for these pops. Well, at least for Rouge they didn't. But for Amy, we do have a separate pop for her outside of the 2-pack with her and Shadow, which I haven't gotten to yet. I'll show that off later on in the video. Then we've got Super Sonic Chase. This is the chase of the normal AAA anime exclusive Super Sonic. The normal one I'm gonna put into B tier just because it's a pretty basic mold, nothing too crazy with it at all. But the chase one I'm gonna put into A tier just because I think that's an awesome chase. The mold's different. He's kind of in an action pose in the air with a stand holding him up. I think that's awesome. This is what chases need to be every single time. They need need to be super different from the commons. I don't like when they just recolor chases or like do like a super small difference to them. This is a big difference to the chase and I'm all here for it. I think it looks great. Next up we have Flock Tails. I like this one a lot. I just think the other Tails Funko Pops they've made have been better. That's why I'm gonna put him into B tier. I think it's a really cool Funko Pop, don't get me wrong. I just like the other Tails they've made better. The other Tails just look better, except for the original one. The original one's not better than much. Then we've got the E3 Super Shadow. This pop is super expensive for no reason. It's just a shadow recolor. No different mold, nothing crazy going on with it. It's just shadow, but completely a different color, obviously, because it's Super Shadow. Like as you've seen with that Shadow and Super Shadow 2-pack earlier on in the video, those two have crazy cool molds. I wish they did something like that with this pop instead of just making him like a shadow recolor like I said. And then we got Shadow with Emerald. This one's pretty basic, nothing crazy with it. It's Shadow, so it's cool, obviously. I'm gonna put him into C tier just because it's nothing crazy. It's nothing like super over the top. It's just him holding the emerald in his hand, that's it. Then we got Shadow and Amy, and this one's really cool. I like this a lot. Definitely going to A tier. I'm happy they made Amy her own individual pop outside of this 2-pack like I mentioned earlier on in the video. And they're both in unique poses that we don't have as pops yet, which I think is great. Then we got Shadow with Chow, also going into A tier. This one is awesome. I am a big Shadow fan, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. I like Shadow and Chow a lot. So maybe it's just a little bit biased, but he's going in A tier. I like him. I like the pop. I think it's cool. Glow in the Dark Sonic with Ring. This is the exact same thing as the metallic one that I showed you earlier. It's just the same thing as the common, but different thing with it. Glow in the dark, metallic, whatever it is. I don't like the fact that it's the exact same mold as the common. I'd rather just get the common. And finally, Flock Knuckles going into A tier for sure. I like that one a lot. Flock Knuckles is super cool. And like I said, we don't have many Knuckles Funko Pops at all. But yeah, that sums up my Sonic Funko Pop tier list right there. What do you guys think? Did I miss on anything? Is there anything that you would disagree with me on? Let me know in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.